if you really are looking at it from a long-term perspective of building a very strong Bharat. Yes, Rajat.
Yeah, I would like to connect both of them, Guru Charan ji and the ma'am, the BJP spokesperson. Now,
Sanju
let me
Verma
put
ji.
a simple case. We are talking about startups. Now, let me take a company, say, for example, a company like, say, Tata Technologies as an example, because Tata Technologies is a company which is in the unlisted space. And on the unlisted space, the capital gains in the pre-IPO market, OTC market, they are taxed as per debt, long-term taxation. Matlab, that is a private equity investment. But you are making it as a taxable on this part. While the same, say, Tata Motors or say any TCS company is taxed on the equity parlance. So my point is, if a person who is investing, we are not talking about the basic startups. I am talking about at the top end, which are profit making bigger companies, bigger sharks, and which are making very good profitable ventures. All Tata Nexon vehicles are running with the back-end IT infrastructure, Tata Technologies. But as an investor, if we are investing in Tata Technologies and I am selling it in 2 years or 1 year or 6 months in the OTC market, I will be charged a higher tax bracket if the same period I am having the equity investments. That is point number one. So I agree with Guru Charan ji. In this case, the taxes should be same.
Right.
Point number two, when we talk about comparing India with US or UK and those, for the last 10 years, the inflation rate itself in UK was 1% or 2%.
Correct.
Or US was 1-2%. पिछले 1-2 साल में inflation rate बढ़ा है. And moreover, the गरीबी जितनी हमारे यहाँ पे है और बाहर है, there is a totally difference.
सर, मैं बहुत सिंपल सी बात, बहुत humbly, विनम्रता से कहूँगा, let's not compare ourselves to economies of the world, because we are Bharat, our conditions are different, where we are today are different. It's this ratification, this comparison with other countries, which is always landing us into problems. We need to look inward and see what we need to do as a country to get where we want to, and that's how we need to plan our taxes. That's where we need to be Atmanirbhar even in designing and thinking about our budget also. So that's also important.
10 seconds.
We missed a crucial point here. We missed a crucial point. I'll just take 10 seconds. I'll just take 10 seconds. Guru Charan ji told very good that we have to be labor intensive. But we are at such point of inflection where, while being labor intensive, we have to push two sectors, agriculture and manufacturing and infrastructure. These three sectors at the back of artificial intelligence and the deep technology.
Yes.
For that, we also have need, because if we are trying to scale up and increase our exports also from manufacturing or getting new investments in India in infrastructure space, while we have the labor force, we also need to have a leverage of artificial intelligence, AI and machine learning.
So,
ChatGPT GPT replacing
everything. I totally agree on that. Rajat Dhar.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts are, as a director for Indian Investors Federation, I will highlight a couple of pointers which are from the perspective of Indian investors. So when I am talking about investors, there will be a normal retail investors to as high as the HNI investors. Now, when we are talking about tax rationalization, there has to happen in 2 or 3 different ways. First and foremost, there are AIFs. So AIF category 1, 2 and 3. So tax pass-through status is available in category 1 and 2, but not in category 3. जिनको नहीं पता है, category 3 AIFs are those AIFs which invest in venture capital, venture financing, your fund management, fundraising, which in turn goes into real estate, infrastructure and other e-commerce platforms and other things. That means that in turns affect job creation and that in turn affects the job creation and everything else. That is one aspect. Taxation की मैं बात करूं, we are expecting that government should come with tax rationalization where there is a difference in tax for fixed income schemes. Say for example, debt NCDs, non-convertible debentures or corporate deposits are taxed in a certain way. Then there are bonds, Government of India bonds. If you take directly secondary bonds on a trading platform, you will be taxed as per your tax slab. But if you take the same thing through mutual fund route under SDL, state development loans, you will be having an indexation benefit. So we, as an investor, we fear that government might again now block those holes. So that might be the dent. Because last time we have seen that there has been a capital gains tax on equity investment.
Yes.
So difference has been taxed. However, the increase in the exemption limit as was expected last year had not happened. In my last media presence at Awaaz, I had already told that CNBC Awaaz that we should expect at least exemption limit to be raised as high as 8 lakhs, including all the deductions for the retail consumers, to say that. Because inflation itself is on the higher end.
Correct.
And the saving avenues like EPF and PPF, EPF above 2.5 lakhs is taxable EPF now. So at the end of the day, when we're talking about the tax rationalization, we should also see that there are preferential corporate tax of 15%. In some segments, there are 15% preferential corporate tax rate. Now, these should be extended to those sectors and companies which are working in PLI announced schemes. So there are certain sectors, the companies and sectors are working are in those which are under PLI scheme by Government of India. They are not able to be in the 15% tax bracket. To say for this.
So incentivize those who are embracing government schemes. Try and give them a tax leeway from 22%, bring it down to 15%, encourage more people to get into public, private and PLI. So because PLI is also supposed to, is aimed at encouraging manufacturing and to try and, please complete.
Until we are not able to scale it up, we can't be a manufacturing hub. That is point number one. Now the point number two here, the important point that we can see in next 3 years is if automobile industry in next 5 years or next 10 years looking is like we have an audacious goal as Indians ki we will have at least all public transport electric vehicle. Now what would happen to 10 lakh people who are actually in the automotive industry or ancillary industries जिसमें आधे से ज़्यादा component will be of no use. So then there will be job creation issues and unemploymental issues coming up in next 2 to 3 years.
उसमें एक ये है कि electric vehicles से ज़्यादा it is flex fuel and alternative fuel. So there is a big push for hydrogen, and if hydrogen happens, then that number that you talked about, automobile industry, people becoming useless, parts not happening, that number will also greatly reduce. So it's not going to totally disrupt the automobile industry.
Disrupted, but yes, reskilling and upskilling has to be done, and so that there are no gaps in it.
Correct.
So that last mile and last personal connectivity has to be there.